I want to take a moment to talk about the history of lean. Lean has a long and diverse history, and I want you to understand where this has evolved to. Lean is really an evolution of the modern manufacturing processes, and today it is a juggernaut. It is the most used process system in the entire world, and it saves tons of companies tons of money, right? It's incalculable, actually, how much money has been saved through lean. There are so many companies that have utilized it. In fact, you know what? If you're not a company implementing lean right now, you're not going to be a company in 5 years. That's the reality of lean, right? Because your competitors are going to be implementing lean and they're going to be doing better. So the history of lean. At one point in time, we had craftsmen, and they were the ones that were making individual parts, right? So wagon wheels were crafted by individual craftsmen, or maybe just two people, but that person was focused on making their one part. They were a craftsman and able to make their part. The problem is that with our manufacturing needs, we needed to have more products, and just having individual craftsmen make things was not enough for the demand of our world. Right? This is where Henry Ford steps in. Henry Ford developed the first assembly line, and this was a great revolution to how we made things in the world, right? He made this great evolution in terms of making sure that things could be manufactured in line using multiple craftsmen, right? And separating them and making it so that they could each produce a certain area, and at the end, a car comes out, right? Whereas before, you might have one craftsman and he made the entire car. This just isn't realistic, right? That is too much for one person to do. You can have many people make a car and they will do a much better job than having just one person make a car. So this is where the assembly line came in. The next big change in manufacturing. After World War II, Japan was in a bad position. There was devastation all across their countryside, and all of their industry was in a shambles. And the US said, it is our duty to bring Japan up to a state where they can take care of themselves. We need Japan to be strong, and we don't want to just let Japan sit there and wither. At this point in time, we sent Edward Deming to Japan to do lectures on how to get better quality through process controls and through quality improvements. Edward Deming was really great at this, and he gave some really great lectures to the industrialists in Japan. One of his best things that he showed them was that people needed to have better processes to have better quality. And this is where he really strived to get them better quality. Before this, keep in mind that Japan's quality was very poor, right? If it said made in Japan, you wouldn't want to buy that product. But after this evolution of lean, today, made in Japan is an honor. You want things that are made in Japan. You want it because it's the highest quality. You want it because it is the best product. So keep that in mind that at one point, it was the worst quality and you wouldn't want that. So Edward Deming goes to Japan, gives some speeches, and then at that time, some of these industrialists come to America, and they see things in America like the shopping market, right? They see how our markets work in terms of supply and demand, where the shelves on the market are emptied and refilled on demand. And this is where the pull system comes from, right? So it's interesting to see them taking different tools from different areas and bringing it back to Japan. They were really learning from us and really taking that to heart, right? At this point in time, Toyota gets started. And one of the big manufacturing engineer leaders at Toyota was Taiichi Ohno. And Taiichi Ohno is really the founder of the Toyota production system. And the Toyota production system is world-renowned in terms of producing quality products that are the best out there in a very efficient manner. Taiichi Ohno implemented all of these lean principles and really got the culture of lean ingrained into Toyota. He is the one who really started this, and he is the one who got Toyota to become a really powerful company in the world, right? At this point in time now, Toyota has become a world-class manufacturer. In fact, they're the best in the world, right? And they said, you know what, we need to partner with some of the companies in America because we need to give back to them. At this point in time, they opened a company or a joint venture in California called NUMMI. At the NUMMI plant is where GM and Toyota work together to manufacture cars. And this was a great learning experience for Toyota and for GM. GM really found all of the flaws that they had in their production system. They were really being shown firsthand how Toyota was light years ahead of them and how they needed to adopt these ideas. Before this, auto manufacturers in the US had gone over to Japan and they'd seen, oh, their production systems are really good and we're doing worse than they are. Oh, and they have lots of robots. You know what? The solution is we need robots. Well, that isn't the solution. The solution is lean. The solution is making sure that you use people in support of robots to make sure that the items are manufactured with great quality and with great precision. So keeping that in mind, the US auto manufacturers thought that just adding automation was going to fix all their problems, and that just isn't true. Automation will make things faster, but it doesn't necessarily make them more quality, right? So this is where this comes to, is now we're in modern days, and Toyota is the end-all be-all for lean. They are the best lean manufacturer in the world, and everyone is striving to keep up with them. They are difficult to catch because they have ingrained all of their cultural ideals, and it is hard to compete with a great lean company that has the culture to keep it lean. The US companies are really having a tough time adopting lean because they aren't able to build as much trust within their workforce the way that Toyota is able to. Toyota is sitting on $60 billion in capital because of lean. No other US auto manufacturer is sitting on that amount of capital because they have built it up through their processes. Only Toyota is able to do this because they have the best processes and they have the best people for implementing their processes. So keep that in mind, that they have focused on their people, and that has been the driver for their system. They are definitely far and above the best. And today we're just all trying to play catch up, right? So take what we have here today and try and implement some of these lean aspects in your life, and recognize that the history of lean has been an evolution. It's come around and it's advancing too. There are even more advanced systems in lean, and we have plenty of ways to go, but I'm really excited where these things are going, and I hope you join me on this journey because I want to see what the next level of lean takes us to.